Cynthia, welcome to Hanson Career Connect and to Hanson College. It's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you for having me here, and looking forward our conversation to share my story.
Yes, we have a lot to cover, definitely your story. Before we dive into that, could you introduce yourself to our audience?
I'm Cynthia Lu. I come from China to Canada in early 2000s, and I come here as international student. And I started my education, career, and my entire life in Canada. Right now, I work for Scotiabank Commercial Banking as associate director. After graduation, I was start my career with bank. I start with very junior positions and moving to different positions throughout the years, and now I'm here.
Okay, that's incredible. And, we have a lot of serious discussions to have about banking, about financials. But before we dive into all of the serious stuff, let's start light, okay? What's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
I have to say I work out for past 5 years, and I lost 30 pounds.
Wow, 30
from
pounds?
that. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, well, COVID put lots of weight and fat on me, right? After that, I start to exercise and try to lose some weight and stay healthy.
Yeah.
And stay in good figure as well. It feels very different. And usually when people have first impression, I'm quiet. They didn't think that, okay, I'm the person, go to gym, pump iron, and do boxing classes.
Boxing classes?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but that's really relieving. So I start to love it.
Wow. So it's like, are you step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of things?
Yes,
I did just one
professional.
class in boxing, and that's all I could get. But look at you, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And it's also very motivating because we're so busy in our daily lives, we forget to take care of our own body and our own mind,
Yeah.
right? So even one small step or one small activity can definitely make a big transformation, right?
Yes,
So that's
yes.
amazing.
For
Thank you for
sure.
sharing that. Okay, so what's your go-to song when you need a confidence boost?
I listen songs a lot every day. So if just pick one go-to sound is very hard because there's like over 100 sounds in my album. But recently I hear a song, name is Chase Dream with Young Heart. That is done by a Chinese singer. And it's super motivational. The lyrics encourage people to hold on to their dreams, stay true to themselves, and keep moving forward despite obstacles. So it's very hard to sing, but I love to listen whenever I have a tough day. Even, like turn the shower room or your car into a karaoke place. This will feel relieving and feel better.
That's good. Can you sing as well?
Not this one.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can search YouTube's like this name. You will find it's a
Okay.
hard one to sing, but
Okay.
usually that makes people feel more encouraged.
Your journey and your story is incredible. From arriving in Canada as an international student to becoming a leader in one of the country's top banks. Was this the career you dreamed of as a kid, or did life take some surprising turns?
Well, my dream while I was young is I want to become an actress.
Oh,
Which is totally different than what I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back then, like I watched TV, movies, and my dream was to become an actress so I can experience different life and feel the life from different perspectives. So that was my dream. But dream and reality are always different, right? If I stick with my dream, I may become Hollywood star today.
Wow, and we would see you in movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's just something very hard to achieve, and it's not something available to everybody. So even back then, my parents wasn't support me to go to that route.
Yeah.
Reason is obvious. I understand, study is first, focus on the real life, find a good job. But also, I never thought I end up work for a bank because all my families, they are either self-employer or they own their company. I'm the only one that works for an organization.
Oh.
But at least I still feel lucky that I work for a good company. I still can utilize the knowledge I learned from school, and I connect with people to learn their stories, their success, the reasons for failure. Like basically my work life is different every day. The most important part is not everyone can utilize the knowledge they learn in school to work. At least my current career makes me feel, okay, the time I spent in school is all worthwhile because because I use those knowledges.
So you wanted to be an actor, right? And then you are in the banking now. When I look at the actors and the bankers, I see very different personalities, right? So can you share some more experiences? Like when you actually started in the banking, was it difficult for you to adapt? Because you expected your life to be something else before.
Well, that was just a dream. That dream, I knew it wouldn't happen. It's just something good to have.
Yeah.
But to start as a banker, I started with a very junior role. So back then, it's like I feel, oh, the senior people I deal with, they're probably going to be very strict. They are rigorous, and I'm afraid to voice up. Basically, I'm just following the instructions. But after a while, after several months, I work with them. I find, oh no, things are different because I never work in a branch world. So in the bank, it's more like a corporate world as well.
Yeah.
As long as I show my hard working, I build the trust, then I feel like, yes, they are very understandable. They are supportive. They support me to get further education. They gave advice. So lots of the managers back then actually becomes to the mentor. But when I just got to Canada, the hard part was the process getting the immigration status. Because I was international student, I got the PR after I graduate. But back then, the process is totally different and it's way more difficult.
Yes.
I know there are some changes right now, makes the process difficult, but back in early 2000, it's a totally different process.
Yeah, I agree with you. And back in the days, information was also not available as it is now.
Yeah.
Now you just go on the website and there's so many YouTube channels, there's so many social media channels who can educate you. Of course, you validate all the information, but I think information is more accessible now as compared to back in the days.
Yeah, for sure. The information is one thing. Like you can always learn from like people who have the experience, what they've done in this case.
Yeah.
Back then, it's more like the process. So at my time, after I graduate from school, I have 90 days to find a job. In order to apply that 1 year working visa. I think now it's like after you graduate, you get a working visa. Then look for a job, right?
Yes.
So it's more like an egg and chicken back then. Because I don't have work visa. I can't find a job. Because when employer asks me, are you eligible to work in Canada? My answer is no, because that time I don't have the working visa. Then they will think, okay, they need to sponsor me for the immigration. But actually, it's not the case. But I guess the government got to know the difficulty, so they switched the process afterwards.
Yeah.
So yes, I got my 1 year working visa with an employer. My salary was like 20,000 a year, which is just enough to pay all the basics. And I couldn't miss even 1 day of the employment in order to get enough score for immigration.
Yeah.
But I changed 3 jobs during that 1 year. So it was tough. Back then, like some point, I call my mom like every other week, basically asking, what am I doing? Why should I go through this? Is that worth it?
Yeah.
Because lots of people just, give up, forget it, and go back to home country. You can still have a very good life.
Yeah. So now when you look back, was it worth it?
Yeah, definitely. Because when I look back, all my real life is in Canada, right?
Yes.
And everything went well. And the people are here are supportive. So I just feel like Canada now is my home.
Yes. And when you were addressing those challenges, you made me walk my memory lane as well. And I imagine both of us had very similar experiences. I remember now when you go to employer, they're like, do you have work permit? When you apply for a work permit, do you have employment? Like, how do we get one without others, right? So, oh my God, that was a different time. But now we have a different time.
Yeah.
Each one have their own difficulties and benefits.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's break some stereotypes. Banking can seem very serious and intimidating. But what is the one thing people get wrong about banking that you wish they understood better?
Question itself is actually what people get wrong to banking. Banking is not rigorous, it's not scary.
Yeah.
It's just when people deal with money, sometimes it's more serious because there is less mistake can be tolerant. But in the banking world, it's not all about cash. As I said, like I wasn't working in a branch environment. I'm more working in a corporate environment, which we don't handling cash a lot. But one thing interesting is in lots of people's mind and kids' mind, bank is all about cash, about gold. So there was one time my son came to my workplace and, like because he has that day off, I have to bring him to the work. He spoke with one of my colleagues and it's like, oh, I've been here for like about 2 hours, but where is all the gold?
Oh my
Where
God.
is all the cash? I don't see it. And then my colleagues start to kid around like, oh, you don't know, I put all of them in my purse. And then he's like, no, I thought bank is all about, I can see money all over the place. But actually it's not the case.
Yeah.
And there is lots of corporate side of work associated with the bank. And the branch is just a very small sector as a bank.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why like there's lots of career opportunities within the bank as well.
Yeah. So not only at the branch, but also the corporate
Yes.
side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's way larger than the
Yeah.
branch network.
So for anyone who is looking for a career in banking, could you share like what opportunities are out there in both like corporate side of it and the branches as well?
Sure. I'll start with the corporate side because I do think that's the side has a lot more opportunities. For the bank, the corporate side is indifferent than any other corporation. Obviously, like finance knowledge is something major they would require, but in the bank, they need accountants, they need administrators, they need IT people. They need digital banking expertise. They even need, media people, law, people who are from the legal side. Like it's same as any other corporation. Nowadays, we know like technology has become very enhancing and bank focus on relationship. So we do see lots of bank do have multicultural banking side as well.
Yeah.
So people like me who have immigration background, like lots of South Asian as well nowadays in Canada. Some banks has a team mainly service their ethnic groups, but with a background that has a different culture could add value to get a job there as well.
And when you said now that the people who have media experience or IT experiences, I could never imagine. I think that's a very good point you have mentioned that not everybody who will work at the banks need a financial degree. You can have a media degree and can handle the media, right? Am I getting it right?
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because there is commercials produced by the bank. You can see the advertisings. You can see, bank do have their own podcast.
Yeah.
They interview the CEOs. There is different messages the bank try to communicate. So it happens to all the bank, and it's a business as well, right?
Yes.
So it's very similar to every other corporation. A group of people, they need talents from different background in order to make the business better and suitable to all the customers. And with the IT side, there is large and larger demand on that side as well, because like all the bank is trying to come out with user-friendly platform. So they do need lots of talents in the digital banking side. Even with the credit card, the bank card, we are using lots of electronic type of payment. Like nowadays, people rarely write a check.
Yeah.
There is lots of like email transfers, electronic fund transfers. Those are all IT associated. So there is a very large team from the IT side as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very insightful. And a lot of opportunities. All right, Cynthia, now it's time to get a little bit reality check, okay? So for newcomers, financial systems in Canada can feel like an alien language, okay? And now we're going to play a little myth-busting game where we will address some of those myths and get the reality checks. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Myth number 1. You need perfect credit to start building your financial future. True or false?
False. I would say it's not quite. We don't need perfect credit. In fact, like many people with no credit history or not a perfect credit history and still, to build their financial futures. That's where they start. Key is to start building a healthy habit, like pay the bills on time, keep the credit utilized low, and monitoring your credit score. That is the key to build your financial future. Like no one is perfect.
Yeah.
So decent credit is something good to start.
Yeah. So it's not like school. You need to have these many scores to pass.
There is always reasons, right? Like in reality is there is reasons and we need to build case. For sometimes there is incident that impacted your credit score. What is the reason? Tolerance is always there. That's why I'm like, keeping the good habit is good. If it happened once, maybe the banker is able to help you to justify. But if it's consistently like that, then it will be hard to build the story. But overall, the credit is your reputation.
Yes.
Right? And that's crucial to gain trust. So having a credit product with the bank, say apply a loan, a credit card, is basically how much bank trusts you. Keep a good credit, it's important. And also it's important to all the field, not just the financial side.
So things to remember: credit, reputation, trust. All right. Myth number 2. Opening a bank account as a newcomer is complicated. True or false?
False. Yeah, many banks now have newcomer-friendly service. They offer some specialized account package, with lower fees. The purpose is to ease up the process for them to have the bank account. They even have a multilingual supports, dedicated staff can get you through the process. So say once you walk into a branch, you just need to show your ID, proof of address and proof of immigration status, then there will be people guide you through. So in many cases, also those services available online, like accounts can open through online banking platform. You don't even need to go to branch in this cold weather.
Yeah.
And maybe some phone calls can help as well. So it's not complicated. Don't be scared about that piece. Yeah.
And is there any limit that of the savings you need before opening bank account?
No, bank account is bank account, right?
Okay.
There's no discrimination on that side.
Yeah.
It's just a tool for you to use with your daily purchase.
Yeah.
So there is no limit on that side.
Awesome. All right. So myth number 3. Saving while paying off student loans is impossible. True or false?
Have to say it's false, but it's not absolute. It's not necessarily the case. It's challenging now because everything is very expensive and new grads usually doesn't make a lot. So it is very challenging, but it's not impossible. So I would say focus on the some small emergency funds first. Make sure you do have a pool of small funds to go through the harness. Stick with a realistic budget. Do the automatic payment to your loan, and then do an automatic payment for the savings to ensure you can pay off the loan while save a little bit. How much do you save? It depends how much you make, right? It's not mandatory, but small things can add up. And also, if needed, you can explore some income-driven repayment or refinance the loan to a lower monthly payment. Those helps for people to save as well, because after graduate, you have a career to go. You will have a long-term employment to go. So there is future income there.
Yeah.
So say if right now the payment to student loan is too much, find a way to see if you can refinance, convert it into a lower cost monthly. At least, while the payment term may be stretched longer, you are not able to pay off, say, in a year or 2 years. But since you will have employment going forward, you will have stable income, then it will be easier to pay off the loan with a lower monthly payment. I mean, for Scotiabank, there's a slogan, right?
Yeah.
You are richer than you think.
Oh.
So with this type of strategy, you
Yeah.
will find you are richer than you think.
Yeah.
Because money saves gradually throughout the time. And then one day when you open that saving account, you will say, whoa, I have this much. I
Yeah.
didn't expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just a slogan, it's actually true. It's true, and the benefit is you need to go and ask right questions and make sure you don't go and stick with myths. You need to get clarity by talking to somebody at the bank, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Wow, so many myths. Some we have already busted, but there's so many more. If anybody is looking to get this one-to-one consultation to address some of the doubts, where can they go?
Well, for personal banking, walk to the branch, find an advisor. Relationship doesn't build from the first day, but go to the banker that you have. As I said, you may have a bank account already, right? There must be someone helped you and go through them and explain your situation, ask their professional opinion, and see how they can help out. So it's always two-way conversation. It's not like, this is bank's requirement. You have to do it. It's more like, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? And what bank can do. It's always tricky to find that balance point that satisfy to both sides.
Yeah.
And there is never be only one solution. There's lots of solutions. So it's more like how much we can tailor for the customer.
Yeah. I always believe in if you ask for something, you will get something. So it's all about asking first, right? I think that's a very good point you have mentioned there. All right, let's switch gears. You have been in the banking industry for over 15 years. That's amazing. Is there anything about banking industry or the banking career you think still surprise people?
One thing that still surprises many people is the sheer varieties of the role and the skill sets that the banks needs. As I mentioned previously, like bank is just a corporation. So they do need lots of talents from different professional field. Beyond the classic finance positions, bank focuses more and more on relationship building and client centrics. So many new technologies and user-friendly platforms are being developed to support these two goals. So therefore, talents who can manage technology and who stay current with the new technology while understanding finance are becoming increasingly in demand.
Okay.
And also, like myself, I start with the bank in an accounting role.
Yeah.
I start from a junior accounting role with the bank. So it's basically like all field, there is a seat that they can find within the bank.
And you think that surprises people all the time?
Yes, because it's like not all about money, and
Yeah.
finance is about everything.
That's right. It is kind of surprising even to me. So thank you for clearing that out. So if for anyone who's dreaming about a career in banking, what's one piece of advice that can help them to stand out?
I would say be a people person who speaks finance fluently. So in other words is develop excellent interpersonal skill while staying sharp on your profession. Because nowadays AIs are the hot topic. And many people are afraid that technology will replace manpower. And those soft skills, interpersonal skills are something it's not able to be replaced. So show you can translate complex financial jargon into everyday language. Show you can build trust with your client, your team member, and your senior leader. Nowadays, bank starts focusing multicultural banking, and Canada is a multicultural country. When you can speak the language, when you understand clients' culture background, is always something as value for you to get a job in a bank.
All right, Cynthia, now it's time for a rapid fire. But we have a small twist. We have a banking twist. Are you ready for it?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. What's more satisfying, balancing a budget or helping a client solve a big problem?
Helping a client solve a problem. You feel very satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest money mistake you have seen people make?
Not having a budget, not having a proper budget. Because lots of the time, people spending without tracking income and expense, that very easy to lead to overspending. Like sometimes we spend future money. We use credit card. We apply for loans, even home mortgage. We are spending future money because we need to pay down gradually down the road. However, keeping a proper budget can help you to ensure that you do have enough future income to cover those debts down the road.
Yeah. And that is a very, very great advice you have given. And these days, it's actually not very hard to manage the budget. There's so many different templates you can use, which is available for free, right?
Yes.
It's not that hard. You don't need a complicated software to manage your budget, like especially if you're doing it for personal side of it, right?
Yes. Like there's apps, even like simple way, create a spreadsheet, have one column of income with the dates and a column with your fixed expenditures.
Yeah.
But usually there's a matrix is, 50, 30, 20% rule is try to stick 50% of income to fulfill your needs and 30% of your income to fulfill the things you want. and leave the remaining 20% as the saving. So usually that's the metric. So we try to achieve on a monthly basis.
Very helpful. Okay, now we talk about budget, but favorite guilty pleasure purchase for you?
I mentioned I do listen lots of songs, right? I turn my shower room into a karaoke place.
Okay.
So I recently purchased a karaoke system. It's expensive. It's very expensive. But at that moment, I just want to have it.
Yeah.
But I didn't turn it on for like past 3 months.
Wow.
So-
but then it's worth it because you're using it.
Yeah.
End of the day, we all need something to relieve our stress, right?
Yeah, hopefully my neighbor wouldn't be mind about that purchase.
As long as your songs are good.
Yeah, then I start to sell the tickets.
Yes. Cynthia, your work goes beyond banking, and I'm already enjoying our conversation. And you're passionate about helping immigrants and students succeed. If you could change one thing about how newcomers are supported in Canada, what would it be?
Yes, from the daily life perspective, I think we already have lots of resources, online, local, physical centers that can help people out. Back then, there wasn't. So I was thinking, okay, from the daily life perspective, if we do have a more community resource to help the newcomer. But more importantly is I do find sometimes with certain occupations, there's a gap between the home country and Canada. So some career trainings, short-term trainings is easier for the newcomers to bridge the gap. Also, like while the training is ongoing, if there is a simplified system to validate the foreign credentials, someone who has a PhD in India or China, how long does it take for the local employer or local university to get recognized to validate those certificates? So if those sort of things can be streamlined or get available for the newcomers, it will be much easier for them to adopt Canada's life, get your foot into a career path more easier and sooner.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I'm an educator myself. I've been consulting a lot of new students when they're coming with the foreign credentials, but it's really lengthy process for them to get them evaluated. So if that can be changed or can add a little bit speed to it, it will solve a lot of problems.
Sometimes, like a bridge from the local education helps as well.
Yeah.
Because you may like an expert in the home country,
Yes.
but in the life experience, you don't have Canadian life experience. So some career trainings, some hands-on trainings in Canada can create a lot more opportunities, and it's also more recognizable within Canadian employers. So those helps.
Okay, that's awesome. What's your big dream for the future?
With my life stage, I have a very realistic dream is basically, looking after my families, make sure kid grow up in a healthy way, make sure, they learn the stuff they need to learn. So it's very simple. Dream is just work-life balance and look after your customers, look after your family members. If you can achieve that, you are successful people. Yeah, nothing big. It's just stick with simple every day.
I feel like about your dreams, as long as they're clear, it doesn't matter what the dream is. Because I feel like a lot of people are struggling to have the clarity in what exactly they're trying to accomplish. So very powerful. All right, Cynthia, you must have had mentors when you were stepping up in your career. What advice would you give to somebody who's looking for that mentorship? How can they start that journey?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid to approach anyone that you think could help. I'm lucky. I do encounter people who are helpful, who are support, open mind. But whenever you try to reach out to those people, I would say be clear on why you want their mentorship, how they can help you, whether it's a career guidance, skill development, or even insight of their field. So always articulate what you're trying to learn from them and be specific. Like they are busy, they can help you on different aspects, but what exactly you need them to help. Maybe schedule like 20 minutes coffee chat. Say something like, I'm interested in this job in your organization. I think my expertise fits. Can you connect me with the hiring manager something like that. But be specific. So if they want to help you, at least they know what they need to do in order to help you to be successful.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Cynthia. This has been amazing talking to you. I think you have cleared a lot of myths. You have given us a lot of insights into the banking, what it actually is, and a lot of opportunities. What's one final word of wisdom you would want to share with our audience?
Every great achievement begins with a single step forward, and you've already started your journey. So stay focused, embrace challenges as opportunity to grow. Remember that persistence is always beat resistance. So just keep on pushing forward. You will be successful.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I think this was a great conversation.
Thank you.
Yes. That was such a good podcast. Well, to everyone tuning in, thank you for being part of today's conversation. Remember, whether you're chasing a career in banking or just figuring out your financial journey, take it one step at a time. Listen to pros like Cynthia. Whether you're studying a new program or you're doubtful about getting into new industry, Hanson College is here to guide you at every step of your journey. Visit our website today and explore a variety of programs we're offering and connect with our admissions team. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hanson Canada. Until next time, keep hustling, keep learning, and keep growing. See you soon.